Welcome to Daily Armour. Today we're going to be in 1 John chapter 3, looking at verses 16 and 17. 1 John 3, 16 and 17, and it says, Hereby perceive we the love of God. Hereby perceive we the love of God, because he laid down his life for us, and we ought to lay down our lives for the brethren. But whoso hath this world's good, and seeth his brother have need, and shutteth up his bowels of compassion from him, how dwelleth the love of God in him? I want to go on a little bit further, and it says, My little children, let us not love in word, neither in tongue, but in deed and in truth. And hereby we know that we are of the truth, and shall assure our hearts before him. I like that. Verse 18, My little children, let us not love in word, neither in tongue, but in deed and in truth. When we have perceived the love of God, perceive means we have been made aware of it, we have felt it, we have known it, we have understood it, we are acquainted with it. It means we have experienced it, and we have experienced it because of the death that he paid that penalty, and the death that he paid for us, the death that we owed. It was a debt that we owed, and death was the penalty, but we couldn't pay it, but he did. And because of his death, because look at verse number 16, because he laid down his life for us. It wasn't taken from him. They didn't take it. He chose to give it. He chose to go. He accepted it because that's how much he loved me, and that's how much he loved you. That's how much he loves, still presently loves me, and all throughout eternity will continue to love me, and how much that he loves you. I have some friends going through some horrible circumstances right now, living the worst week of their life. And this love of God continues to be what I hold to, and what I know they are experiencing in a whole different way. And what's going to allow them to minister to others in a whole new way because of what they are being made aware of, even to a further capacity, because of what all they're going through. That they're going to need the Lord more. They're going to experience the Lord more because of that, because his grace is sufficient for whatever we're going through. When it's time for this and it's time for that, he gives us grace to get through it. He doesn't give it to us in advance, but he gives it to us when we need it. And I know they are going to be continually experiencing it for a good long while extra. It said the scripture tells us that grace and mercy shall follow us all the days of our life, and we shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. That's Psalms 23. And I think about that sometimes, that grace and mercy are following me, and they step in when it's needed, when it's time, when the Father says now, and he knows when, and he knows how. And when we perceive the love of God, which means when we experience it, that love of God causes us to stop and take time out, not just to tell somebody that we love them, but to show them. Look at verse number 18 again. Let us not love in word, neither in tongue, but in deed and in truth. You have to make some sacrifices for people sometimes. You have to sacrifice some pride. You have to sacrifice some time. You have to sacrifice some things that, maybe you were wanting to do, for the things that need to be done, because it is an immediate emergency. It is an immediate need. and people are hurting, and we need to have compassion because the Lord has had compassion on us, and we need to have compassion on others. And that's something I'm asking God to show me. Lord, what do you want me to do? And I immediately have done what I was asked to do. But Lord, if there's something that I need to step in and do, please let me know. I have an aunt who is in hospice care right now. Just an all of a sudden illness, and she's very far away from where I live. And I'm praying for her, and I'm praying for my cousins and their families. But I feel like I need to do more, and I'm asking the Lord, help me to know what to do more. My friends, a friend of mine this week passed away, and just none of us were expecting that. None of us were expecting that. And she still has three young children, and her adult children are just traumatized. Her husband is just so heartbroken. And I don't want to just say that I love them. I want them to know that I want to help. I want to show them in deed and in truth. And so that's my challenge. And I pray that you look around and see, not just tell somebody that you love them, but somehow, some way, pick up and relieve a little burden, help in some way. And sometimes it's just listening. Sometimes it's just that one you can count on to pray, that really, really is going to pray. Sometimes it's having to get out of your comfort zone and do something intentional. Be intentional in deed and in truth. And I don't know what I need to do exactly, and you probably don't know what you need to do exactly, but we're aware and we've experienced the love of God, and we need to share that with someone else today. Thank you for joining me. I look forward to seeing you again soon.